In the heart of the American plains, where endless grasslands meet the horizon, something ancient still stirs. A creature once thought nearly gone, the mighty bison, now stands as both a symbol of resilience and a cornerstone of a growing modern industry. Once hunted to near extinction, bison have made a comeback not just in the wild, but on the farm. Today, millions of bison are raised across North America, not for hides, not for sport, but for premium, sustainable meat. It's an industry rooted in history, driven by science, and shaped by an age-old relationship between humans and nature. But how did this once wild icon of the Great Plains become part of one of the fastest-growing premium meat industries in the world? And what does modern bison farming really look like behind the scenes? From the open pastures to the high-tech processing facilities supplying gourmet restaurants and health-conscious consumers across the globe. In this documentary, we'll step inside that world, exploring the origins, the challenges, and the innovations that define the modern bison farming industry. Because this isn't just a story about meat, it's a story about restoration, balance, and how nature's most powerful grazer found a new place in the modern age. Let's begin. Long before skyscrapers, highways, and ranch fences, the Great Plains of North America thundered beneath the hooves of tens of millions of bison. These massive animals once shaped entire ecosystems, their grazing patterns renewing soil, spreading native seeds, and feeding predators that kept the circle of life in motion. For centuries, indigenous peoples lived alongside them, honoring the bison as sacred, a giver of food, shelter, tools, and spirit. The animal was not just a resource, it was a way of life. Then came the 1800s, and everything changed. As settlers moved west, the bison's numbers plummeted. By the late 1880s, fewer than 1,000 remained. Entire herds were slaughtered for hides and sport, and the prairies fell silent. But this isn't where the story ends, it's where a new one begins. A handful of conservationists, ranchers, and native leaders stepped in, determined to save the species. They captured surviving animals, bred them, and began restoring herds, not just to the wild, but to working farms and private ranches. By the late 20th century, bison were no longer symbols of loss, but of renewal. Today, over 400,000 bison roam managed pastures across the U.S. and Canada, raised under humane, low-stress conditions that mirror their natural behavior. What began as a desperate rescue mission has evolved into a thriving, sustainable industry, one that balances commerce with conservation. And now, as the demand for natural, grass-fed, antibiotic-free meat grows, the bison has found its place in modern agriculture once again. But how do you actually farm an animal that still carries the instincts of the wild? Let's step inside the pastures of modern bison farms, where tradition meets technology. Step onto a modern bison ranch and you'll immediately notice something different. Space. Lots of it. Unlike cattle packed into feedlots, bison are raised on wide, open pastures that stretch for hundreds, sometimes thousands, of acres. These animals are not meant to be confined. They roam, graze, and live much like their ancestors did, guided more by instinct than by human command. Bison are hardy and self-sufficient. They don't need barns in winter or constant veterinary care. Their thick coats protect them from snow, and their natural grazing patterns reduce the need for supplemental feeding. Most ranchers say, you don't own bison, you partner with them. Each herd develops its own rhythm. Calves are born in the spring, usually without assistance. By autumn, the herds gather naturally, and ranchers perform health checks, tagging, and sorting, a process that's done calmly and carefully to minimize stress. When the animals are ready for harvest, usually between 18 and 30 months, they're transported to specialized facilities designed for low-stress handling. Every detail matters, from curved fences that mimic natural movement to soft lighting that keeps animals calm. The goal is simple: respect the animal, honor the product, and deliver meat that reflects the purity of how it was raised. And the results speak for themselves. Bison meat is lean, dark, and rich, lower in fat than chicken, yet high in protein, iron, and omega-3s. It's the kind of meat that connects people back to the land, to something primal, something honest. From field to table, every step in the process is rooted in stewardship, because for most ranchers, raising bison isn't just a business. It's a legacy. But the bison industry hasn't stopped there. As demand rises, technology is transforming how these animals are raised, tracked, and processed, bringing ancient instincts into the digital age. Modern bison farming might look rugged and old-fashioned from a distance: wide open plains, wooden fences, and animals that seem untouched by time. But behind the scenes, cutting-edge technology is quietly reshaping this ancient landscape. Across North America, ranchers now use GPS tracking collars to monitor herd movements, ensuring the bison always have access to fresh grazing land. Drones sweep over pastures, checking for water supply, damaged fences, or missing animals without disturbing the herd. And with data-driven grazing systems, ranchers can track soil health, rainfall, and grass growth, rotating pastures with surgical precision to prevent overgrazing and restore the land. Even the genetics of bison are being studied. Researchers and breeders work together to preserve pure bison bloodlines, avoiding crossbreeding with cattle, which once threatened the species' genetic integrity. Processing facilities, too, are evolving. Some now operate with automated temperature control, real-time quality tracking, and AI-assisted logistics, ensuring the meat stays fresh and traceable from pasture to plate. This fusion of wild instinct and modern intelligence is what makes the bison industry so unique. It's not about domestication, it's about harmony, using technology not to control nature, but to collaborate with it. Still, there's a deeper story here, one that goes beyond production or profit. Because raising bison isn't just about feeding people, it's also about healing the land they once helped sustain. If there's one thing that sets bison apart from every other livestock animal, it's their relationship with the land. Long before modern agriculture existed, these animals shaped the Great Plains, naturally tilling the soil with their hooves, fertilizing it with their waste, and helping native grasses thrive. Today, modern bison farms are bringing that ancient balance back. Unlike cattle, bison are raised entirely on grass. No feedlots, no corn-based diets. Their rotational grazing system mimics nature's cycles, restoring soil health and capturing carbon from the atmosphere. Every time a bison herd moves across the prairie, it stimulates new plant growth, keeping pastures healthy and biodiverse. And because bison don't overgraze, they leave enough vegetation for wild species, from prairie dogs to birds and pollinators, to coexist within the same ecosystem. Many ranchers call it regenerative ranching. It's farming that heals instead of harms. Water systems benefit too. Natural pastures filter rainwater and reduce runoff, keeping rivers cleaner. Even methane emissions, a major issue with traditional cattle, are significantly lower with bison due to their grazing behavior and natural diets. And yet, sustainability here isn't just about the environment, it's also cultural. Many indigenous communities are reclaiming their ancestral connection to the bison, starting their own herds as part of food sovereignty and ecological restoration projects. So when you see a herd of bison silhouetted against the sunset, it's more than a pastoral image. It's a symbol of renewal, a reminder that food production can be both profitable and ethical, both ancient and forward-looking. But beyond ecology and ethics lies another dimension, one that drives this reborn industry forward: economics and culture. Today, bison meat isn't just a niche product, it's a premium category in the global protein market. What was once a symbol of the wild frontier is now appearing on the menus of five-star restaurants and in the aisles of health-conscious grocery chains. The economics behind it are fascinating. Because bison are raised on grass and take longer to mature, their meat commands higher prices than beef. It's often marketed as a luxury: lean, nutrient-rich, and naturally raised. For ranchers, that means fewer animals but greater value per head. In the United States alone, the bison industry generates over $350 million annually, and it's growing. Exports are rising, particularly to Europe and Asia, where demand for sustainable, traceable protein continues to climb. But there's more to it than money. In places like South Dakota, Montana, and Alberta, bison farming is breathing new life into rural communities. It's creating jobs, restoring pride, and attracting ecotourism. Visitors come not just to eat bison, but to see them, to reconnect with a piece of living history. And for indigenous nations, the bison's return is deeply spiritual. Tribes across North America are rebuilding herds not for profit, but for identity, for ceremony, education, and food sovereignty. These animals are helping heal the wounds of the past, one hoofprint at a time. From ranchlands to reservations, from gourmet kitchens to conservation parks, the bison has reclaimed its place in both economy and culture. But the story doesn't end here. The world of bison farming is still evolving, and its future could hold lessons for all of agriculture. The story of the bison is far from over. In many ways, it's just beginning again. As climate change challenges conventional agriculture, bison offer a powerful blueprint for the future, a species that thrives where others struggle. They can survive harsh winters, endure droughts, and restore degraded lands simply by being themselves. And as consumers grow more conscious about where their food comes from, bison meat is finding its moment. It's lean, natural, hormone-free, and raised with respect. That combination of ethics, nutrition, and story is driving demand skyward. Across North America, more young farmers are stepping into the field, investing in regenerative bison ranching. Some use solar-powered fencing and AI monitoring systems to reduce costs and track herd health. Others collaborate with conservation organizations to reintroduce bison to protected lands, blending farming with rewilding. Every herd born today represents more than livestock. It's a living link between the past and the future, between people and the planet. And maybe that's what makes the bison's comeback so powerful. It's not about taming the wild. It's about learning to coexist with it. So the next time you see a herd grazing beneath a wide, open sky, remember, this isn't just agriculture. It's rebirth, a reminder that even after near extinction, nature finds a way to return, stronger, wiser, and more vital than ever. If you enjoyed this deep dive into the world of modern bison farming, make sure to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and share your thoughts in the comments below. Do you think bison could be the future of sustainable meat production? Let's talk about it. Until next time, this is Moody Tale, bringing you the hidden stories behind modern farming.